Shalom, shalom. This is your brother Kadar Bond, GMS, Mississippi Gulf Coast. I'd like to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakudash. Double honors given unto the apostle elders of Great Millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth, making their lives a living sacrifice for over 30 plus years. I also like to say shalom to the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, also to the various GMS camps, heads of those camps. Also extend a shalom to any of you Akim out on the highways and hedges not named GMS, but walking this one truth, one spirit, one body in Yahweh Shai. To you all, shalom. Right across this video on my feed here. Hopefully this is somewhat edifying. I'm going to just show about, I don't know, maybe about 10, 12 minutes of the video. I'm going to bring out a quick precept. But just to lay down the storyline, this is how this man, the so-called white man, Esau, has went around the world and created chaos by relegating the majority of the people to fight over scraps and the leftovers after they have pushed into these countries and spreaded democracy and, spreading his wicked philosophy. Buying out the heads of states, if not, setting up puppet governments and whatnot, where just the elite, or rather the top tier of these countries get to survive and the people have to starve, and it just creates chaos. But nevertheless, I mean, these situations, these environments have been created because of this. This devil has been let loose to roam the world or do as he please for just a brief moment now, just a season. And this is the end result of a base people ruling over planet Earth. Yes, yeah, a base people ruling over planet Earth. But, I want to get into the video. Just lost my train of thought just then. I want to get into this video. And, oh, yeah, just come back to me. This could be could be one of the explanations why we see a lot of the Northern Kingdom pushing on the southern border of the United States to get into this place, because Esau, Edom, so-called white man, has went to these countries and just segregated the world and turned it into a large dish rag. He's hogged the resources, the means that the people have grown accustomed to feed themselves. He's hogged that, relegated everyone to taxes, relegated everyone to this democracy, and it has proved to be detrimental to the people by and large. But I'm gonna just let this video play it and pull a few precepts.
We're heading down a dirt road towards an epicenter of Mexico's violence. Right now, this is the only route into the small town of Aguililla in the state of Michoacan. It's trapped between two cartels and cut off from the rest of the state. We've been told that this hillside track is a back way in, but even that's under control. We've just seen in quick succession a checkpoint that we had to pass through with armed guys by the side of the road, a burnt-out truck, and then the initials of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel actually scrawled on the road itself. There's no real doubt about whose territory we're in. We'd asked our Jalisco Cartel commander for permission to travel this way. Otherwise, we'd never have risked it. On the way, we passed soldiers for the cartel. They say they're the special forces. This isn't a desperate rabble. It's a private army, and it's advancing. Eventually, we arrive at their local center of operations and ask for an interview. They agreed to talk. at what they say is a clandestine airstrip 10 minutes away. You gave this interview because you wanted to make a point. What is that point?
El Cártel Jalisco somos, entre comillas, los que somos malos, los que somos terroristas, los que extorsionamos, los que robamos. Y no es así. ¿Por qué? Porque nosotros no tenemos necesidad de robar. Nosotros somos narcotraficantes.
But the reality is that the four letters, as they're called here, are brutal, ruthless. They've killed police and disappeared civilians across the country. And now they're invading Michoacan. We're here to ask what that means for an already traumatized population. And who is going to stop them? We're heading into a war zone. The southwest state of Michoacan is where Mexico's drug war began. When ex-President Felipe Calderón sent the army in to stop the cartels almost 15 years ago. But it didn't work. The conflict only grew as rival criminal groups and vigilantes fought for the state, extorting and terrorizing the population. But now those former enemies have come together under the banner of United Cartels to fight another, more powerful force invading from the state next door, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Its leader, Nemesio Ceguera, alias El Mencho, is from the Aguililla municipality himself. He wants his hometown and state badly.
Ánimo, bandera, ánimo, ánimo.
And on the clandestine airstrip, his men are on a publicity drive to justify their invasion.
El propósito y la indicación que nos dio el jefe es de que protejamos a la ciudadanía de su pueblo, porque él es de aquí. En sí él quiere su pueblo, ¿qué es lo que quiere? Que se acaben las cuotas y todo eso en su pueblo.
Over more than a decade in Michoacan now, different groups have said the same thing. La Familia, the Knights Templar organization. No, we're not going to get involved with the population. We're just doing our thing. We're just trafficking drugs. And in the end, all of them have done extortion, the things that they said they wouldn't do. Why should people believe that you and your cartel are different?
Pues haz de cuenta que no queremos que lo crean. Porque haz de cuenta que no necesitan creerlo. Los hechos están.
When the interview was over, I left feeling he hadn't revealed the cartel's true motives. Michoacan's got a lot to offer besides drugs. A lucrative mining business, the world's leading avocado industry. That must be drawing them here too. This state's a real prize. We were on the final stretch for Aguililla, the town at the center of this conflict. Surrounded by natural riches, coveted by the cartels.
No hay nadie aquí.
It might soon be one. Locals told us that thousands of people have already left, slipping past the siege and away. In the buildings, we saw the scars of the battle between United Cartels still here and the advancing Jalisco New Generation forces. You can see the bullet holes in this building. But this happened just a week or two ago. That's what people here are saying. So if you come in here, the building got shot up and also this car.
Alka-Seltzer, clop, clop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. So fast.
At the time of our visit, Jalisco had taken all of the land around the town. Meanwhile, United Cartels have placed a blockade further up the only official road in. Medicine, cooking gas, basic foodstuffs were all scarce. Even petrol had to be smuggled in. This is how you fill up in Aguililla. Businesses are dying. La Parilla Taqueria is just about surviving. It's where we met teacher Fernando Padilla, who became famous locally when he confronted the state governor Silvano Aureoles. Aureoles was on his first visit to Aguililla in years by a helicopter just as election season kicked off.
Yo vine y protesté pacíficamente, les mandé los mensajes gobernador venga por tierra para que vea la realidad en que vivimos nosotros.
Then the governor did this.
Pensé que iba a dialogar conmigo, pero arremetió contra mí. Al empujarme me dijo, cállate cabrón, y me empujó.
Another sign of governmental indifference towards this town and embattled region. It enraged townspeople like Gabriela Carbajal and her sister Daniela, already dealing with their own personal tragedy. Their grandfather had a burst stomach ulcer on the first day of the blockade. They couldn't get him through to the hospital on the other side. He died. When this happened, how did that make you guys feel? What was running through your mind?
Pues mucha impotencia. Impotencia porque no pudimos hacer nada. Era algo que estaba fuera de nuestras manos y era algo injusto. Entonces, pues eso provoca demasiado coraje.
What's it been like living like this for the last couple of years?
Pues es feo. Es feo porque antes era un pueblo muy tranquilo, muy libre. Y ahorita no podemos dejar a los niños porque es el miedo a estar pensando, a estar atentos, a escuchar ruidos porque en cualquier momento pueden tronar balas.
That night, we found out what she meant. You can probably hear that. That's the sound of gunfire. We're just outside of the village church. Night has only just fallen and they've started shooting here. A town and region trapped between cartels. Who would come to save them? Perhaps the state security chief, Israel Patron, the next to show up after the governor's failed visit with a battery of police trucks. We had a couple of questions for him.
Pero hay un retén por un grupo en esta dirección. Pasamos por una tercería, hay 3 retenes, otro grupo criminal por ahí. ¿Cómo es que el Estado de Michoacán no tiene estas rutas? ¿Cómo están en manos de criminales?
Bueno, estamos aquí precisamente para cubrir esos espacios que hoy tienen grupos de delincuencia organizada.
Porque ahora, cuando he estado pasando por años aquí, ha de haber sabido, ¿no? No sabía que había varios retenes de un grupo criminal.
Pues me gustaría saber a qué puntos te refieres. Si me pasas las coordenadas en cuanto terminamos la entrevista, podemos verificar.
It was bizarre that he claimed not to know about the blockades that he'd come to lift.
Muchas gracias.
Okay, muchas gracias.
But the people here say they're used to the government turning a blind eye. Although there's an army barracks in Aguililla, townspeople say they rarely patrol. And before the security chief's visit, we'd seen no police in the town. Still, he'd promised that the main road would now be cleared. It seemed our ticket out. We set off, relieved not to have to take the mountain track. But it was eerie, all but empty. Lined with burnt fields, bullet-marked road signs, and empty villages. Here perhaps is a vision of Aguililla's future, these ghost towns where all have fled. They've become common across Michoacán as the authorities have ceded ground to the cartels. You can see on the wall there it's got the initials of Cartel Jalisco New Generation. And it's the bullet hole. One glass of the floor, there's also fully placed floor. said gunshots really close to where we were there in the Limoncito. So we're getting out as fast as we can. But what we'd seen in the village stayed with us. We knew there were thousands of people who'd fled the violence, not just here but across the state. Where had they gone? What were they doing now? We set off for a nearby community, Los Halcones, to meet one of Michoacan's displaced. On a hot, languid afternoon, we waited for Candelario Serrano.
Llegaron tirándonos balazos de lo alto del cerro. Y pues tuvimos que salir huyendo aquí a este lugar, a esta comunidad.
Candelario fled his village, Los Cuches, a couple of months before. Now he's staying with whoever will take him in, 71 years old and suddenly homeless.
Ya a mi edad, ¿qué puedo hacer? No sé. Tal vez pedir limosna, no me queda de otra.
Every week he goes back to check on his land. This time we went too, escorted by a self-defense group from Tepalcatepec, a nearby town. It was the only safe way to travel there. In the village, Candelario showed us where he'd lived since he was 4, and before the violence, laid his dad to rest.
Él quiso que aquí lo enterrara y ahí lo tengo.
¿Cómo se sintió para usted tener que abandonar la casa donde tiene entrado su papá?
Pues triste, humillado.
I'm gonna stop it right there. I just want to lay down a little content for these precepts, you know. It says sad, humiliated. And that's the spirit. I mean, to come back into this truth, you have to humble yourself. And humble goes into the root word humiliated. You know, you have to be humiliated, a contrite spirit, you know, to accept, to be accepted, be called on by the Lord. You know, what? That was a question that was posed, you know, where these people have gone to. And that may be the obvious, because a lot of these Northern Nation Israelites, so-called Mexicans, and the people that are south of the border there, you know, they're at the southern border of the United States. This devil, the so-called white man, he done went all over the world, spreading death and hell by way of his democracy, and getting a few breadcrumbs to the heads of states of these countries, and just starving out the people, and has created this environment, these situations, you know. Let me see. I want to go to the book of Daniel. Let's go to Daniel real quick, because the Lord has set this devil up. And he said he would do so because we was just hard-headed. This is the repercussions of our actions. This dang thing. I get this phone to cooperate with me. Let's go there. I'm going to pull out this video. I was using the wrong phone anyway. Like it. Let's go to Daniel. Let's see who's in charge. This is Daniel chapter 4, straight to the point. This is is Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. It says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and give it to whomsoever he will. And he set up over it the basis of men." We're going to grab one more script here. Let's see. Just to put on record who's running things. This is Job chapter 9 and verse 24, straight to the point. And it says, "The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" Now, we're going to run it down. We're going to find out who the wicked is. This is Malachi chapter 1. I'm going to start at the top. It says, "The burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord." And this is the Lord speaking, Yahweh. "Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord Yahweh. Yet I've loved Jacob, and I've hated Esau, and laid his mountain and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness." Verse 4, we're going to find out who the wicked is, because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, pursuant to Job 9:24 and Daniel 4:17. The Most High Yahweh set up the basis of men above the kingdom. And this is who the wicked is, and this is who the Lord has set up. It says, "Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, Yahweh of hosts." And that desolate places is Europe, because Europe is void of any resources, thus giving this man the notion to go around the world and collect the world's resources, because the earth was given into his hands. You understand? It says, "They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them," who is the them? Esau, Edom, so-called white man, "the border of wickedness." There it is. "And the people against whom the Lord Yahweh had indignation forever." You know, the Most High has righteous hatred for these people, and righteously so. But now, these are the people who have created the calamities throughout planet Earth. Now, I want to pull out another, because there was a few things I wanted to go over. I mean, rather, just to speak on briefly and keep moving, because I didn't want this to be long. The video was long enough. Let's see, Exodus 20, and we're going to start at the top, because in those couple of those clips there, you seen some of the women were speaking, and they had crosses, crucifixions in the background with Jesus Christo hanging on them. And see, that's a no-no for our people. And yes, the northern nation, in this particular sense, so-called Mexican, which is biblical name is Issachar, is of the Lord's house. And that's a straight no-no. This goes against our laws. This is Exodus chapter 20. "We should not be worshiping anyone but our power, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai." Exodus 20 and verse 1, and it says, "And Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me." And unbeknownst to our people, Jesus Christos, or JC, is not a power. He was an actual man who lived, who practiced in homosexual and incest. And he will be going into slavery once he come back on planet Earth. Let's see, Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord Yahweh. Thy power am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So the Lord sees all, and you shall be punished. And going into why, an explanation of why you see all those Israelites at the southern border is because this devil has been given permission to go about and create chaos. He buying the governments and, the public officials, heads of states in these different countries and whatnot, and just totally turning into a toilet bowl. The world is just a big old restroom. Like when you out on a road trip or something, you had to stop at one of these filling station restrooms. That's essentially what this devil has done to the world by and large. So that's a good explanation, reason. That could be one of the reasons why we see the people packed at the borders, at the southern borders, like we see. And that's just an indication of what's going to happen here in Babylon the Great. Quiet as kept. That's what this place is going to come to before it's all said and done. But I want to pull out this one last script and I'm going to get out of here. One of the brothers in the camp, Brother Karatazar, he brings this out all the time. This is Ecclesiastes, aka Sirach, and it reads, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of men the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. As an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the guidance of them which are in, hold up, Salaki. I ain't got my glasses on, and I need to make this big. Let me see. I can't see. I'm reading it like a dang first grader. So let me illuminate this just a little bit. Lock it. Just a second. Let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. It's better. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 2. It reads, as the judge of the people is himself, so is his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. As an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. It says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, which we brung that out in Daniel 4:17. And in due time, he will set it over it one that is profitable. And that's going to be our Lord Yahweh Shai, his only begotten son. Because pursuant to Job 9:24, we know that he has set above it Pursuant to Daniel 4:17, he put it in the hands of the base man, and pursuant to Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, which is none profitable. This man hoards and wants to put everything in his corner and give you 1/16 of the penny. You have a penny, he wants 15 16ths of it and give you 1/16 of the penny. That's why you see the world is just, the people of the world just tossed. It says, in the hand of power is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribes shall he lay his honor. Bear not hatred to another neighbor, to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices. I'm gonna stop right there. I ain't got my glasses on, and I'm chopping it up like a Chinese dinner. So I'm gonna stop right there. But the point of that passage I just read was that, so as the leaders of these nations are, so other people are. And you see these cartels and whatnot popping up all over South and Central America, and that's mainly because the rulers of this present world, they have made the conditions to be so. They have made the conditions to be so. And what we witnessing on some of these news platforms, alternative at that, because mainstream news platforms don't show these things. We're witnessing Jacob's troubles, the beginning stages. And once it reaches here in America, Babylon the Great, full-fledged, with these vacations being mandated, people losing jobs, resources are being hoarded, goods are being withheld, on these cargo ships. Draconian laws are being signed into legislation, into law every other Friday, on the sneak tip. It's getting worse and worse. So those same things, those same images we just witnessed in the video are coming to a town and a city near you. And you know what? With that, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.